This is Danelle Stevens, and the purpose of this screencast is to show you how to how to create a text structure analysis of a journal article um, in your plan to your detective work, shall we say, in learning what the journal you want to write an article for, what they expect from you. So what I've done is I have opened here a short article. This is too old, actually. It's 2004. I really suggest you use very recent ones, but the main reason I'm using this one is because it's short and it therefore is an easy one to demonstrate the use of a TSA, what I call a TSA, text structure analysis. This is a practice article, so I'm going to go back and forth between the article here and the TSA here, which I've filled in mostly, but I will use the article to demonstrate um, how to fill in the TSA. So I'll move that over, see how that works, and then here's the article itself. And the main reason I tell you I want you to bring in the hard copy is that you'll see how hard it is to jump around the article. You are not reading the article. What you are doing is you're looking at structure. And structure, and there's a number of different descriptors in a way that we look at when we look at the article, just to give us an idea of what does this journal, how are articles structured in this journal. So the first section is a 10-word brief gist of the article. And this is not sentences, but it's more like words. And it would be the participants, the context, results, the big ideas. It's not really I don't know. It's just a very short summary of what the article is about. You can get that information from the title. So this is about academic writing. It's in medicine. I skimmed the abstract and said it was a mentoring program, 7 months, and it was assistant professors, and it was from a collaborative mentoring program. So that's kind of all you do is just put words there so you kind of have an anchor. Also, I forgot to tell you, on the top of your form, you'll say, I think you have the journal on the first line. And then in this section here, you're going to put the author and the year so that you can remember. If you pick it up later, you can remember just when you did this TSA. Then I kind of looked at the first few paragraphs and tried to figure out, do they use sort of the tone of the article? Is it friendly? Is it formal? And what I noticed, the first thing I noticed was this word we. Um, and so, oops, I'm on the wrong one. Okay, I've looked at the title. The title, Facilitating Scholarly Writing in Academic Medicine, Lessons Learned from a Collaborative Peer Mentoring Program. That's pretty much the facts. Oh, and it does have a colon. I put that it didn't have a colon. It actually doesn't have a colon in the title, but it has a big title and it has a little title. That's kind of what you should notice that, because when you send in your title, it should match the kinds of information that's there. So this is actually wrong. This shouldn't say no colon, because since there's a big title, big font, and a smaller font, there actually is, that would be considered a colon. The abstract itself, think about, count how many words there are per line, and then count the number of lines. It'll give you a general idea of how many words are in the abstract. In this case, there were 160 words. And then I looked at the abstract and I thought, okay, the first sentence is about the problem. Then they talk about what were the procedures of the program. Then lots on the procedures, and then they talked about the methods, qualitative data, and then they talked about some implications for long-term recommendations for scholarly programs and implications for long-term programs. So it pretty much follows, a good abstract will actually follow the typical pattern of the article, of a research article. It's problem, methods, results, discussion, implications. And this one does that. And this one, usually they have the purpose, and often the purpose hopefully there's a sentence called the purpose of the study is, they don't have that. So they say, we describe our experience with da 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 da. They don't really frame it in terms of being a study. So I would say that's sort of the purpose of the study. And I went through the study and I couldn't find any research questions. The problem with doing this online is the article tends to jump around too much. So that's why I asked you to bring in a hard copy. Because some of these next sections require you to move through the article. You're not reading it, you're really just looking for structure. So in this next one, there were no research questions. I looked for the headings, here's methods, etc. Writing project design, project evaluations, results, goal 1, etc. And then let's go to the next page. I guess I have to scroll this down. It kind of jumps. Goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, discussion. I didn't include the references. When I totaled all those up, there were 10 headings, and there were 3 level 1. I called this level 1, and there were 7 level 2 subheadings. So then the next part is where it gets really interesting, because as a writer, you have to know how much time you want to devote to each section. Well, this article in the introduction has 3 paragraphs for the literature and the background. Very interesting. Not very many. The methods, which include the procedures, how they conducted the study, takes up 5 paragraphs. And the results, which include all of these goals, take up 12 paragraphs. Discussion is only 2, and the references are approximately 1 page, because it's hard to do paragraphs, but the references seem really long, and that's very interesting. There's no figures. There's 2 tables and appendix, so you can put in tables. The tables are interesting in terms of I think the tables are interesting in terms of kind of information they give. They give the structure of the sessions, and they also give, that's why it's hard, the contract that they had with the faculty, which is interesting. If you want to set up a program, there's some good ideas on how to set it up in the contract. Overall tone is we. It's not detached. It's not third person. There were 52 references, and because this is online, I decided I didn't want to do my regular method, which is what I usually do, is I put a letter on the outside of this. So, like this first one is family medicine, so that's a journal. Second one's family medicine journal. Third one is journal. Fourth one, journal of biocommunication. It's a journal of family medicine. Used a lot from family medicine. So I would just start tallying these: reports, journal articles, books, book chapter, web, or other. And then I would come up with kind of a pattern. Do they accept books? Do they accept book chapters? Do they accept journal, or most of them, journal articles? And when you find many, and you'll see a pattern, and because you're going to do 3 articles, you'll begin to see a pattern across the journal articles. And that pattern will help inform just what the kind of article that you're going to submit to this journal. Now, if it's eclectic, which means that each one is different, that's also good information. So you will want to use use this information to guide your article. Now, when I saw that this had 52 references and it was an article like 4 pages long, I was like, goodness, I don't even remember seeing all those references. And then when I looked more closely at the article itself, I noticed that this line, a bibliography relevant to facilitating scholarly writing, was provided, number 71 to 50. So they actually gave faculty a bibliography on academic writing, helping them become students of academic writing, and that was included in the references. It's an interesting article, and I thought it would be a good article to show you exactly how to do a text structure analysis. This would be one you would do on the regular text structure analysis form, you have three columns. And after you've done three articles from one journal that's recent, 2014 or 2015, you can look across all three of the articles and you can begin to look for patterns. And yes, save changes. And if we just do a TSA, regular old TSA that will have three columns. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, here's one. And this is the one that's in your packet. It has the journal. I usually put the date as well. And then the other thing that this has, I hope, doesn't look, oh, research methods. Yeah, I did add research methods. Sometimes you want to know that, qualitative or quantitative, but otherwise this is this is the form that you will have, and you'll do three articles, and don't forget to put the author and a short version of the title here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to look across all of these and say, oh, all of these titles have, down here, all these titles have a colon. The abstract looks like it can go from 150 to 200 words. Okay. Purpose of the research is very clearly stated. It is usually at the end of the literature review. So you'll begin to see some of the patterns across in this journal. And if you can match those patterns when you turn in your paper, more than likely they'll say, oh, this person speaks our language, and they'll be more likely to look more closely at your article, and rather than just immediately reject it. All right, good luck to you, academic writers.